Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video we tell you why Brazil abolish its monarchy. The Brazilian monarchy has a very interesting, and sometimes overlooked, history. First, how and why it was established. The King of Portugal fled Napoleon, and established himself and the Portuguese court at Rio de Janeiro, in 1808. After Napoleon's defeat, this king came back to Lisbon, leaving his son, Pedro, to rule Brazil. Then, for some motive, recalled him back. This Pedro rationalized it would suit him more to be emperor of an independent Brazil than to go back to Lisbon. So in 1822 he declared the Brazilian independence, and himself Emperor of Brazil, Pedro I. At the time, there was no widespread movement for independence, and the ones that existed were local. They sought the independence of a part of Brazil. The only way Brazil could get its independence and still remain united was with a Portuguese ruler, the prince who already held the power. This is why Brazil remained united, while the Spanish colonies broke apart. This Pedro I was a reckless playboy then, and a dictator, too. After some misunderstandings he had to abdicate, and went back to Portugal after all. He left here his 5-year-old son, Pedro II. Then something unique in history happened. Instead of a local chieftain ousting this little kid from power, the Brazilian ruling elite agreed that he was the only ruler that could be accepted by a unified country, and through temporary regencies, they ruled the country in wait for the prince to grow up. This Pedro II grew up and assumed power, ruling Brazil until 1889. By then, there was a strong republican movement, the land was more united, and was ready to be taken over and held united by some local lord. In a military upheaval that no one can yet understand really how and why, an old marshal of the army was invested in power, declared the end of the monarchy, and refused to see the old Pedro II, for he did not want to see the old man cry. Besides the old monarch, not many people cried. As we say here, there were no cries and no candles. There was no social upheaval. The strong families of the monarchy were the strong families of the republic. Only the emperor and his closest ones were sent to exile in Portugal. Nothing changed much for the average man in the streets. Today, no one seems to care about the return of the monarchy. Actually, there was a referendum sometime in the 90s, where Brazilians voted for presidentialism, parliamentarism, or monarchy. The monarchist had some 10% of the votes, which is a fair amount, and strange. For there is no political movement for its return. Their TV propaganda was well done, though.